Coach Huff with some opening remarks, and then we'll take questions for Coach Huff and the student athletes. Coach?
Thank you. Not always an opportunity to start a new season in the same location you ended your last season, but we are back. Excited about the opportunity to be here. Again, media days kind of signify the beginning or start of a new season, so we're all excited to be here on behalf of Brad Smith, our president, Christian Spears, our athletic director who is here, and all of the Marshall University community. We are very appreciative of the opportunity to be part of this unbelievable conference. Hats off and congratulations to Commissioner Gill on his extension. I think what he has done along with his team, leading this conference into the next phase, adding 4 teams, keeping the brand strong, regional rivalries, and this new landscape of college football, the battle of conference realignment, trying to check the box of financial gains and the box of keeping regional rivalries and strengthening the brand. I think the Sun Belt has done a phenomenal job of that. With us today, we have 2 of our young men, Eli Neal and Rasheen Ali, 2 examples of our program and what we've been able to kind of accomplish and build over the last 13 months. Both of these young men will be graduating in December. Both of these young men, their on-field performance is capitalized by what they do off the field. Leaders for our team, leaders in our community, very proud to have them here. With that, there's a lot excitement in college football. We are happy to be here, happy to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Title IX, enjoying the NIL process, creating opportunities for our young men, and also continuing to build our roster through the transfer portal. So with that, we'll open it up for questions.
We'll take questions for Coach Huff and our student athletes, Rasheen Ali and Eli Neal. We ask you, for those in the room, if you have a question, please raise your hand, and also please, if you would, stand up so we can get you on the cameras in the room. Please wait for a microphone to come to you. State your name and media affiliation, if you would, before you ask your question. And for those of you joining us on Zoom, please type your questions into the chat, and I'll read those aloud. We can start right over there.
Coach Huff, Hunter Dawkins with the Gazebo Gazette newspaper down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. You have had some iconic alumni, and you just spoke about Title IX, and Marshall has always seemed like the university competitive in battling things through. Do you use that on your recruiting trail regardless of the conference that you're in?
Absolutely. I think, again, the Marshall brand is strong. I think the Marshall brand is strong because of the history and tradition, right? All the way back to the plane crash that would have eliminated a lot of other programs. Marshall was able to stand up and build back, all the way back to Randy Moss and Chad Pennington and Byron Leftwich. Those are the foundations that we stand on. When you come to Huntington, the way the university embraces the community and vice versa, you feel that, and our players feel that. And again, to me, in order to build a good relationship in recruiting, you got to have some type of foundation, right? You got to have some type of recognizable brand. The Marshall brand, when we go into homes and schools, is recognizable. And then we're able to build those relationships, from there. And then when we get them into Huntington, they're able to feel the passion and the enthusiasm from our fans and our community. And it's a special place. We take pride in it. There's no beach in Huntington. There is no, Hollywood Boulevard. It's just 125 guys that love to play football and love each other. And that's what the community stands for. We're Huntington tough, Herd strong. And we enjoy it and we embrace it.
Hi, Coach. Ted Lewis from the Times-Picayune and the Advocate in New Orleans. 2 questions for you. You haven't played a season in the Sun Belt yet, but what do you see a difference in tone and attitude maybe within the conference and compared to Conference USA? And secondly, you mentioned the transfer portal. Transfers used to be lateral moves or maybe down. Now you see them going up in all directions, and now also it looks like players are going to get to transfer as many times as they wish without having to sit out. Is that a benefit for you and other schools in the Sun Belt, or is it something you're going to have to contend with, possibly losing schools to other places, especially with better NILs?
Yeah, well, to your first question, I think you can just look at this event here, how well organized this event is, how well marketed this event is, and then you look at the coaches and the programs that are represented. I think the Sun Belt is a strong brand, and I think you can see that here. Your second question about the transfer portal, I think it's great. You either adapt and die in college football. We choose to adapt. So this year coming up, we'll have 48 new football players. 24 high school kids that we signed and 24 transfer portal kids that we signed. The number one job of me of a head coach, now it's two jobs, is one, the acquisition of personnel, and two, the retention of personnel. Looking at this conference, we looked back and we knew we had to get more depth. When we got off the bus here in Louisiana for the bowl game, we had 6 healthy defensive linemen. It's not an excuse, it's what it is. But you look at the first quarter, first half, well, those 6 guys had a little bit more energy. Well, in the second half, the bigger bodies from the team we were playing wore us down. So we knew going into this conference we had to get deeper. So we went out and we attacked the transfer portal. We attacked the high school ranks. Why? Because if we can get more depth, we can practice better, which ultimately will allow us to play better with a lot more consistency. So I think the transfer portal is great. I think we have to continue to be mindful of the parameters on it, because ultimately kids are in school to graduate. So we just got to make sure that the rules that we put in place still allow these young men to graduate and matriculate through college the right way. But I think it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for young men to fix situations. You know, he transfers into a school because he may or may not have been playing as much as he should have been. Coach left, wants to get closer to home. I think there's multiple reasons. But again, I think as long as we keep the goal, the main goal of them graduating on time in place, I think it creates opportunities for these guys.
Emmanuel Peppers, Sunbelt Conference, and Eli, question for you about just talking about what Coach mentioned, really attacking the transfer portal and getting some new guys, especially on the defensive front. Just talking about kind of working with those guys and how this group has really started to kind of mesh together through this offseason as you build up to this year.
Yes, our recruiting staff did a great job bringing in the guys that we brought in so far. I feel like this process has been a whole lot easier, getting to gel and gain chemistry with these guys. And, you know, we just flowing their practice right now, definitely building on the chemistry, making that our main focus right now. I feel like that's something that if we take that next step, and that'll definitely help us as a team this year.
I have a question from Zoom, and this is for both Rasheen and Eli. Can you talk about the challenges of playing in what is obviously going to be a very strong Sun Belt East Division?
Challenges, we're really just super excited to come into the new conference and just be able to compete each week. We're willing to face all the adversity that's thrown our way. We're a strong team. We work hard together. We got a brotherhood. We're just super excited to just come here and compete.
Exactly what he just said. We know that coming into the Sun Belt, this is a whole new way of a competition, but this is what we live for. This is what we play the game for. This is what our fans are looking forward to, and we're just excited to get a new chance and a new start, and just to have a whole lot more exposure this year.
Mitchell Gladstone, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Charles, you spent time at Alabama, and I know you overlapped with obviously Coach Saban and Butch Jones while you were there. But when you're on a staff like that, obviously you learn from Coach Saban, and I know a lot of other coaches have talked about things they take from him. How much did you learn from him, and how much do you also take things that you learned from guys on that other staff like Butch Jones, who had been head coaches in the past, and they were and learned from not just the things that worked well with Coach Saban, but things that might have not worked with so well for some of those other guys and Coach Saban as well?
Yeah, I think one of the beauties of the experience of my time at the University of Alabama was the opportunity to be surrounded by so many different experiences, different levels. You talk about, you had multiple head coaches on that staff, whether they, had great careers or changed positions or whatever it may be. And just like you said, you learn of, okay, hey, this works here. What may not work somewhere else. What works at Alabama may not work at Marshall. Obviously, there are some things, there's some carryover that we're able to use. I think the discipline, the consistency in performance, the consistency in our preparation, helping players reach that level of self-gratification, helping players create value for themselves on and off the field. Those are things you can carry over. The reality of it is our resource level is different. So I think having those other experiences, I think Coach Jones is a phenomenal example. He's been at Central Michigan and Tennessee. So having those different experiences helps me mold what Marshall needs. And that's what's ultimately most important, what works for Marshall and what Marshall needs.
Speaking of another guy on that staff, I know at Arkansas State they think very highly of Andy Kwan. I'm just curious, you guys overlapped at Alabama. What was your experience with him like, and what has it been like to watch him grow from being a grad assistant there to now taking on a lot of responsibility at Arkansas State?
Yeah, when you're a position coach and you have younger coaches around you, whether they're graduate assistants or QCs, you can tell guys that have it, if that makes sense. And Andy was one of the guys who had it. No job too small, no job too big, very intelligent, very detailed with his work. To see him get his opportunity with Coach Jones there at Arkansas State, I'm excited for him. It's kind of like you getting to see one of your kids kind of, move into the next level. I think he's going to continue to do a really good job. Obviously, he's got a lot of experience and a lot of help, there with him. So I'm excited to see his career continue to grow.
Hi, I'm Due Mixon from the Student Prince. There's been a lot of talk about joining the new conference and seeing all the new teams. But I was just curious on, obviously, Southern Miss coming with you and Old Dominion and James Madison, or more specifically, Old Dominion and Southern Miss. Are you still excited to still retain those rivalries? Because obviously Marshall and Southern Miss have had several good games, and Marshall and Old Dominion have had those good games as well.
Yeah, I think one of the positives of this transition for us is we were able to keep some of those old rivalries intact. I think making the move and the transition to the Sun Belt Conference from a competitive standpoint, to me, there's a lot more competitive balance. In the Sun Belt, you look at 3 or 4 teams ranked in the top 25. 3 or 4 teams that consistently win 8, 9, 10 games a year. So for us to be able to move in that conference and compete at that level, but also keep some of the regional rivalries or some of the rivalries, Southern Miss and the ODUs, to be able to keep some of those rivalries as well, I think it's a positive. I think our fans are going to enjoy it. I think our fans are going to embrace the regional travel, which I think is going to be good. I also think the Sun Belt fans will embrace the regional travel of our opponents as well. I know I said there's no beach in Huntington, but you guys should come to Huntington. We got unbelievable food. I mean, it's a beautiful view of the Ohio River when you ride by, so you guys should flock your way right into Huntington for every game. But I think that's what this conference has been about. You look at the conference, attendance across the board. The schools and the fans and the fan bases in this community travel. So we're looking forward to getting all you guys to Huntington. We're looking forward to taking Huntington to all of our road games as well.
Coach, as a follow-up there from Zoom, and this could be for you and also our student athletes, how exciting is it that you'll be playing this year both at JMU and ODU, nearby rivals?
Actually, I've been taking my time focusing a lot on week 1. But if I have to talk about ODU and JMU, these are 2 teams that I personally never got a chance to travel to. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't got to see that scenery nor play in Virginia before, so I'm excited.
Same for me. Honestly, I've never been there before either. Super excited to just go into their home arena and just check it out.
Coach, question for you. Obviously, one of the overlying themes so far today has been not only the toughness of this conference as a whole, but especially this division. But how big is it? You guys look at your schedule, and obviously you guys focus week to week, but you look at it as a whole, and some of the teams that have been at the top of the Sun Belt pecking order are going to be coming to you guys' place this year.
Yeah, I think it helps. I think it helps because, obviously the home field advantage, it alleviates some of the travel anxiety. Some of these guys have never been to some of these venues, so it's a little bit different when you go to a venue for a first time. But I also know the teams that are coming to us over the last 3, 4, 5 years have won 8, 9, 10 games. When you start winning 8, 9, 10 games in consistent or consecutive years, it's not just the luck of the draw. It's not just you had a really good team. What that is you've got structural alignment. You got a foundation. You got all the resources needed to have a successful program. And those teams that are coming to us that won 8, 9, 10 games consecutively multiple years, they've gone on the road in the tough environments and know how to play in those environments. So what we have to do is we have to understand that just because, they're coming to us, they're still quality programs. They're quality programs that know how to play in tough environments. They're quality programs that have recruited, in tough environments. So we have to do the same thing, and we got to be ready to come out and prepare every week with the right preparation, the right intensity, right focus, the right attention to detail, so that on Saturdays in the zone against those tough opponents, we can perform.
Coach, a question for Zoom, and this is also for Rasheen. Can you talk about the addition of Henry Columby in an otherwise quarterback room that had a lot of freshmen?
Henry has coming in, him and along with Cam Fancher and some of the young guys. They really came in ready to learn and just willing to just come in being leaders and just having a good input along with the team and just coming along with the culture, everything that we're trying to build, what Coach Huff trying to instill. He just been following everything that we've been really practicing. So he's been doing a good job. I'm super proud of him. I'm excited for the future that we're going to have this season.
Coach?
Yeah, I think obviously, the transfer portal works both ways, so we lost a really good player. He got another opportunity. So two things. One, it gave us a chance for Cam Fancher, our true freshman quarterback, who was already on the roster, to get all of spring. He got all the reps in spring, so he was able to show us and his teammates what he was able to do and put a lot of confidence, built a lot of confidence with us and his teammates. Obviously, Henry coming in from Texas Tech, a veteran, at the quarterback position. It's the most important position in all of sports. If you got one, you got a chance. If you don't, it's going to be very difficult. But Henry's come in, kind of like the guys have said, and has become the quarterback on the team. There's a difference between being a quarterback on the team and being the quarterback on the team. A quarterback on the team, you sit in the quarterback room, you're in that position group, you go in when your number's called. The quarterback on the team is the leader. The quarterback on the team organizes 7-on-7s in the summer. The quarterback on the team has the confidence of the unit. The quarterback on the team confronts his teammates when there's issues. And that's what Henry's done. But that's the experience level that he's come in with, which is going to give us an opportunity. Now, at the end of the day, he's still got to make really, really good decisions with the football. He's still got to manage the game. He's still got to keep us from, bad plays turning into disasters. He's got to make the good plays great. But the core pieces that we need from that position, Henry has been able to kind of present to us this summer.
Any other questions from the floor? Coach, Rasheen, Eli, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. Good luck to you going forward this season.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys having us, and go Herd.
We will continue here in this room in just about 10 minutes from now.